this is gonna be my basic shake tutorial. The most requested tutorial to do next. My last video was a shake tutorial, by the way. Thank you guys so much for the support on that last video. I was not expecting it to do that good. I'm gonna split this up into two parts. The first part, I'm just gonna be explaining what different parts of the shake does, and second, I'm gonna show you like common, like not like presets, but like basic stuff, basic like settings that I use for shakes to give you some ideas to start out with. This is what our clip looks like with no shake. There actually is some shake at the end here, which is like the build up for the second part, but we're more focused on the shake at the start. So it looks kind of pretty basic. There's no really real movement aside from the scale that we put. I have the shake here, and I'm just gonna explain to you guys what each part does. So I have everything, all the keyframes turned off, and we're just gonna go through all the different parts of S_shake, which is Sapphire plugin. So the two, in my opinion, the two most important things are your frequency and your amplitude. So your frequency, basically just the higher your frequency is, and just I need to turn this on, but the higher your frequency is, the more, like I would guess, the more aggressive each kind of amplitude is. Higher frequency, you should probably be using lower amplitude, and lower frequency, you want to be using higher amplitude. So, like a high frequency shake would probably be around like 6.5 to like 5.5, I would say. Some people go up to like 8. Personally, if I want to go like high frequency, I'll go like 6.5. Low frequency, which is what I use the most, is gonna be anywhere from like 2 to like 3.2. Probably 3.2 is the highest, but I'd say like 2.5 is probably a good place to start. Amplitude, basically, if this is at 0, doesn't do anything. The more that I bring this up, you're gonna see. Basically, this is just gonna be the max part of your shake, because you're gonna have one keyframe at the amplitude and one keyframe at 0. Phase and Z distance, I don't touch either of these. Motion blur, this can give your shake some motion blur with the shake. I use this sometimes, I don't use it too often. But it can be useful. Let's just change the length of the motion blur lines. The seed is also extremely important, so I'm gonna set this back to what I had it before, like 0.25. Seed is really important. Basically, the seed just gives you a random starting point of that amplitude. So if I have my amplitude at like 2.5, and then if you just see the shake, it'll just put it at any random starting point of that amplitude. So this is the seed. Once you have kind of like a basic like shake established, the seed is what you want to play with the most, because that's how you get kind of different looking shakes throughout your thing. Because if you use the exact same shake throughout your entire edit, it's gonna look really poorly made. So I'm gonna put this on 0 right now. We can come back to that. Set this back to what was that for? This is just reflecting stuff. No, I usually set on reflect. I set them to no, and then I just use motion tile instead. Oh, okay. These parts right here, the X shake, the Y shake, the Z shake, and the tilt shake, are also extremely important. What your X, what this is gonna do, if I set this to 0, the shake will not do anything across the X-axis. So if I set this, so I had it set to 140, basically the higher this goes, the more it'll shake across the X-axis, and the same thing applies to the Y. This random frequency is kind of similar to the frequency up here. So I just kind of try these out until I get something to look good. Tilt shake, this just gives you a certain amount of like tilt on your shakes. I like to have this. I use tilt shakes in basically all my shakes. I just like the way that they look. So those are all the parts of the shake. But just to make it less confusing, we're just gonna worry about right now, like beginner wise, we're just gonna worry about the amplitude, the frequency, and the seed. I've changed these up a little bit. I'll actually set these back to their defaults. I believe these are defaults. And I mean, tilt check I'm gonna keep because I don't change that, but we're not gonna touch these just because I want to make this as beginner friendly as possible. So I'm gonna keyframe this at my start. This shake didn't have a build-up, because it was the first thing of my edit, and this is just a loop. But, and I'm gonna keyframe at the end at 0. I usually go to the end of my clips, and then I choose a tighter graph. So, this is what it looks like ungraphed, pretty ugly. So we're gonna hover over these. You've probably heard this a lot, just F9, easy ease. This is the graph that I go off of. This is what it looks like in the graph editor. I'll definitely make them either stiffer. Usually I'll make it stiffer. I really won't make it looser. Usually I feel like I have to make it stiffer sometimes. But this works fine for this scene. So now this is what our shake looks like. Obviously looking way better than the original, giving a lot more. My main important parts for this shake, my amplitude is 3.25, my frequency is 2.5, and my seed is 0. Like, just to show you what the seed would do if I set this to a random number. Let's replay this. Gives us a very different looking shake. I actually like this a lot. I just keep it. So definitely change your seed a lot. It can really impact how your shake looks. So for this second part, this is gonna be this shake has a build-up in it, which I thought I should show because that's definitely a really important part of your shakes is your build-up before you do the actual shake. This was not a great example because I didn't have a build-up for this. I didn't really need one. So as you can see here, if you look the keyframes for this part right here, exact same. This part here is the exact same as this, where I'm going from my amplitude to 0, basically the exact same graph. So now looking at this part, I think I actually, so yeah, I did use motion blur on this shake. The seed is 7.3, 2.7 amplitude and 3.6 amplitude and 2.7 frequency, with again 4.5 tilt shake. So now looking at the keyframes here, see for about 3 frames I have this set to 0, and what this does is, like, if I showed you this without it, it looks alright, especially because this transition kind of helps it, but with the build-up, it gives it some movement going into the shake, although it's really slight, especially for this frame, and I could make this a bit longer if I wanted to. Actually, this is a graph that I use, so you can see the build up more. I don't really like this though. I feel like it's too much movement before the upwards. But build-ups are extremely important. If you actually look at all the rest of my shakes for this edit, they all have some kind of build-up, because build-ups are extremely important. They all have build-ups because build-ups are extremely important to make your shakes look a lot smoother. So let's say if I wanted to come back here and put a build-up on this. Okay, so I actually added a clip before just to show you what it looks like with the build-up. So this is what it looks like without it. I mean, I've already showed you this shake. That's what it looks like. Could look better. Like you can see that the shake is kind of sudden. Shakes are a very clip dependent thing. I'm just showing you guys what works best for me to give you some ideas. But if I wanted to put a build up for this, I would show my keyframes by clicking U. I'd go 1, 2, I'd say like 3 to 4. I usually go 3. Drag this out, and then I'm just gonna bring this down to 0. I'm not gonna do anything crazy. Highlight these two. They should already be easy eased because you easy used them before. Use this graph right here. Looks like in my graph editor, and I'm actually gonna drag this out a frame. Or no, I'll just loosen the keyframe because I don't think you can see it that much. So like even here, I'm still. So you can see that it's and this is with no like effects. I haven't put anything on this to make the transition go smoother, but you just see that I can't really start just like that. I dragged this out by a keyframe, but you can see that this movement just looks just that little much smoother. That's the entire tutorial. I know shakes can be a little bit confusing sometimes, and I'm not trying to explain it like drawn out, so this video is not like 20 minutes long. So if you do have any questions, message me on Discord. I'll put my Discord on the screen right now, or you can just drop a comment. I check them all the time, so I'll definitely respond to you. And let me know if this helped, and also let me know what type of tutorials you guys would like to see in the future. And I'm definitely going to try to make an effect one, because I see some comments for that too. But yeah, I'd say 3 things to take away from this tutorial is use the seed, change the seed around to get different shakes. Make sure to have build up when necessary. Don't just have your shakes just go right into the bulk of the amplitude, and don't use the same shake for every clip, because it's other people who are watching your edit. It's really easy to tell, and it just kind of comes off as lazy, and it doesn't look that great. So yeah, hope this helped.